you have landed perfectly on this video if you are someone who's stuck earning like 10 lakh per month as a freelancer, which I was around 3-4 years back, and you really want to scale your income straight away 3x. You don't want just like salary to increase by 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs. You just straight away want to 3x. And I'm going to share all the lessons I have learned through this gorgeous book. इसका कवर इतना काला हो गया है, if you guys can see, it goes everywhere with me. And पता है सिर्फ ऐसा नहीं है कि 10 से 30 lakhs हुआ उसमें इसने हेल्प किया है. जब भी मुझे कोई जॉब के लीव लेना होता है, like if I want to go 10 to 15, 15 to 20, 20 to 30, and even now 30 to 50 I want to go, this book is still helping me because I just keep reading it again and I understood it again with new situations and circumstances I'm facing. So yeah, so I'm going to share 5 quick crisp lessons which I have learned from this book and it's very helpful. अगर मेरे पास इतने पैसे होते कि मैं सबको ये बुक खरीद के गिफ्ट कर सकती फ्रीलांसर्स को तो मैं करती, पर मेरे पास नहीं है, इसलिए आई एम प्लीज़ रिक्वेस्टिंग यू. मैं इसका लिंक डाल दूँगी अमेजन पे. इसका नाम है सेलिंग बोल्डली बाय एलेक्स गोल्डफेन. गो एंड बाय एंड रीड दिस बुक, ओके. बट ठीक है, जब तक आप वो काम नहीं करती, I'll share lessons here. I stopped self-negotiating before even clients say a word. So this is something negative bias I learned from the book, and ये मेरे साथ बहुत होता है. I don't know if it happens with you. Like even before clients say anything, I myself in my head like, oh, I should lower my prices, oh, I should give 20-25% discount. I don't know why I'm judging clients' pocket anyway. I mean, I don't know how much money they own. I don't know how much important this investment is for them. And I myself keep self-negotiating, and this is something very wrong because you have no idea that client can say even yes to that exact price. I know it's hard to believe because we all came across different clients and we know in India people love to negotiate, but don't lower your value yourself first. So the author says that we are hardwired this way that we expect the worst, and in freelancing it's just expensive, so you just don't want that client should feel that you are quoting expensive and they just go away. So you keep self-negotiating, and before even clients say a word, you yourself humble and you yourself decrease your prices and give discounts and do all of that before even client asks you something. So I made myself this rule that I will fix the number, I will say to client, and then I will just shut the fuck up. I will not say anything. Client has to say कि Krati, this is expensive, Krati, this is, we want to get a discount and all of that, but I have to just shut my mouth up. And honestly, I was charging I think 15 to 20k per project, and when I did this, like I increased 40% prices, not much, and I was able to close. Initially, yes, there was a problem, but after a point of time when I keep trying this thing, I really closed a client without them negotiating or without me negotiating exactly at the price which I quoted. So this is something you have to keep in mind. I started showing up with old clients with zero agenda. Something this is also I started. So we all obviously have our motives and we just reach out to clients for work, for money, for work, for money. But do we care about them? Like, do we genuinely care? And after reading this thing in the book, I really thought that, oh yes, this is so true. So I started doing with my old clients or with my old potential leads, I used to follow up with them in general. Like for an example, I see a story, it's someone's birthday, I just wish them. If I see someone has put a story of vulnerable situation, I just ask them, how are you? Health check-in. Or in general, sometimes just in general, I go and ask them that, hi, how's your life going, how's your business going, and then they talk to me, and then I'm like, okay, fine. No pitch, nothing, no agenda. I just genuinely ask them how they are, they tell me, that's it. Nothing more than that. And this is the concept which book taught me, and they called it proactive call. And honestly, this was very helpful because it changes my attitude first in my mind, and I started treating clients as humans, which I didn't do before it because honestly I was not treating them humans. I was just treating them cash machines. But now I don't. I make sure that they are humans. They are also getting money somewhere either their own hard-earned or they're getting from funding. They still have to answer, and that money is invested in me. So I make sure that I treat them human first and cash machine after. So anyway, I was gonna follow up with this client, and then she was like that, Kriti, I was thinking about you last week and I was thinking to reach out to you. So let's connect this week. And we connected, and I got a project, and she became my 6-month retainer. So I don't know that I'm teaching you that this thing is happening, that's why you should do that. But I know that in my mindset and in my business, I've become so much relieved, because when I started freelancing, I was such an egoistic person. I was someone who just think that clients need to pay us, they're exploiting us. I never go in clients' mind shoes. I don't think myself in their position, like the money they're giving us, or if they want us to work good, or if they want the best work. I mean, why not? They are paying, they will want it. Maybe I was immature and I was kiddish and I was young, but still I don't think it was the right thing. And I really don't want, if you are a freelancer, you should do all that silly blunders which I had done. I started telling clients what more I could do for them. So then book there is, did you know we do X? So most people don't lose clients because clients don't want more, because clients don't know that you offer more. For an example, if I am handling SEO of someone's website, but they don't know that I do social media, then they will hire someone and they will do. But if they know, then wow, Kriti also do social media, then they will hire me for that too. And honestly, it does happen with one client. I started with LinkedIn personal branding. This I'm telling, I think around 3 years back. That client used to pay me 1 lakh per month. So listen, I started LinkedIn personal branding, which was 30K. Then he gave me his social media, entire everything, which was around 55K. And then he made me kind of a marketing head, not as in job wise, but I was handling ads, creatives, everything marketing related there in their company. And I think he was paying me around 75K. So I mean, yeah, just because clients don't know what you offer, so you have to tell them that what all things you offer. So there's a simple hack which you can do when you do an onboarding email, and when everything is decided, the deliverables, the pricing, in the last you can add a line, by the way, you guys should know that I do these services also. Now though I have a website, so this is not a problem, because they can go on my website, they can see what all I offer. But back then when I didn't have any website, I used to tell them manually in emails, or if they're looking for someone, or if they're casually catching up. So I make sure that I tell them that what all we do, or even if something new I have started. I asked for referrals out loud by name. So referrals, you just hope that clients will give you, but guess what? Everybody is busy in their own mind and in their own life, which is perfectly okay. So you have to ask referrals. You have to tell clients if your work is done. Okay, this is also a big misconception. People think when the client leaves, then you have to ask a referral. But who said that? You should ask in between. In fact, it's a blunder if you're asking at the time of leaving, because they're anyway leaving you. They don't care about you. They are thinking about the new person they want to hire, or new things which they want to do. So when you're working with them, and when you are at your peak, when you have shown the results, when they are praising you, at that moment you have to ask for the referral. That, hi Lara, you already like our work, you've seen our progress, and we would be really grateful if you can refer us to your friends or colleagues. So that is the exact moment that you have to ask the reference. And honestly, not immediately, but lot of my old clients have referred me to their other potential friends and people, and that's just how you build a system if you are in this for long term. If I tell you honestly, 2020 March, I kind of started full-time freelancing. I did for an year maybe, and then I launched my agency. So basically I'm doing this, you can guess what, for like 6 years now. And I just look at this all as a long term, and I'm just telling you everything because I have probably done everything what you guys are going through. So that's why I'm also telling, if you're listening me, I am a practical example of a person who has wasted a lot of time on silly stuff. So you don't do that. Last is I stopped being afraid of seeing as a salesperson. Now when it comes to sales, people think it's too pushy, we don't need to do that, we don't like it, Krati. Okay, if you're in a business, if you're in a freelancing, if you're in any niche other than a proper job, employment, I think you need to be a salesperson. And I think it's good also, because in life also there's so many times when you have to sell yourself. Either selling an idea to your parents of going a vacation on Goa with your friends, or getting a love marriage, or anything. So when you have to sell in life also so much, I think it's just a good skill. I mean, of course, if you're a freelancer, your bread and butter lies on it, but in general also, I think it doesn't hurt if you know, be a good salesperson. So in this book, there's one thing very clear, author told, that you are not bad at sales, you are just afraid of sales. And that's two different things. So if you are so much afraid of sales, how you will sell anything to anyone? So yeah, being scared is fixable, and I think you should work on it. There are so many 1000 videos, so many things you can do, you can learn on YouTube. Honestly, I've learned so much about price anchoring, psychology, talking on the calls, then body language, confidence. I've worked on so many stuff on my sales skills, and now I can say I'm pretty good and decent in that. But yeah, I think you need to fix that. So anyway, these are the lessons. I hope you like it, and please comment if you have any doubt related to freelancing. I make videos on freelancing and social media because that's my bread and butter, and I'm just so passionate about all these topics. So just make sure that you comment and you just ask your doubts. Feel free to bug me in my DMs if you have anything. I'll try my best to answer. So chalo, I will see you in the next video. Till then, bye.